Hello, I'm Robert Garner. Welcome to KTRM Studios on Thursday, February 11th. Tonight, we take a look at the latest engineering program offered at Truman. We also hear from some of our community members about how Kirksville, about how the city has been affected 1 year into the COVID-19 pandemic. These stories and more brought to you by KTRM Studios. You don't want to miss this. Students within the physics major will now have the opportunity to earn a dual degree in physics and engineering. The dual degree program will allow students to earn a Bachelor of Arts in Physics degrees from Truman and a Bachelor's of Science from an engineering school like Missouri S&T or Iowa State. Students will complete 3 years of their physics degree at Truman and then transfer over to the engineering school to finish both their physics and their engineering degrees. With a careful plan, these students could obtain both a physics and an engineering degree in just 5 years. The Truman Theater Department's third production of the year is a musical that will run nightly at 7:30 p.m. on February 24th through the 27th. To continue to create a safe and socially distanced atmosphere, the musical will be presented entirely online. All of the actors are Truman students, each with their own space where they will be performing in front of a camera, while the entire production is streamed live from the James G. Severance Theater. This musical, named Title of Show, follows two struggling writers on their journey to write an original musical for a new theater festival. Tickets are $6 and are available now at boxoffice.truman.edu. Truman's co-ed service fraternity, Alpha Phi Omega, hosts a community blood drive each semester in conjunction with the American Red Cross Association. KTRM Studios spoke with several participants at the drive to hear more.
The APO Blood Drive is an event that happens once every semester here at Truman. Today, we're here in the Sub Down Under, and we had the opportunity to speak with members of APO, the American Red Cross, as well as donors who participated in the drive today.
Yeah, my name is Bailey Hughes. I'm the one of the Red Cross chairs of Alpha Phi Omega. We're here at our blood drive today. And the first day of the blood drive was yesterday, February 2nd. Today's the second day on the 3rd, and then we have a third day of the blood drive next week on Tuesday, the 9th, and the times are from 11 to 6.
It has been going on for several years. I would say probably at least since back in 2001 or so. When I was here for a semester, I remember the blood drive taking place. This year has been a little bit different. We've been down here in the sub down under as opposed to upstairs in the Georgian room where it's been held over the years. So with COVID, things have to change, so we were able to use this space. Aside from the precautions, yes, the being down here in the down under was a little bit more of a challenge because the space isn't as big as the Georgian room, so we had to kind of make a guess as far as how many donors we could perhaps see in a 7-hour period. We're going to be able to see fewer just because we aren't going to be able to have the same number of beds and things set up in a smaller space. So we kind of tackled that in September when usually the blood drive is always just 2 days, like a Tuesday and a Wednesday. But it worked out to where in September when we had the blood drive, we were actually able to open up a third day the week following those first 2 days. So that's what we've been doing this year.
I personally don't know exactly where the blood goes. I know if you do sign up to donate blood, you can download a donor app, and it'll tell you exactly where it goes and who it helps. Each donation can save up to 3 lives. So even if it's not directly to the Kirksville community, it goes directly wherever it's needed. So it kind of just varies on wherever the supply is low. So at least with that, you have the guarantee that it's going to go to someone who needs it.
Yes, I have, over the course of my life, donated 2 quarts of my blood. They just showed up to my high school one day, and I thought to myself, why not? And I walked in there. First time I went in there, I passed out. They took too much of my blood, but that didn't stop me from going. What blood type do I think Spike is? The good one, O positive. That one's also my blood.
I mean, I'm going to say O negative, because then he's the most versatile.
I don't know. Type P for purple.
I'm Robert Garner, reporting for KTRM Studios.
Next up, after 1 year of facing the COVID-19 pandemic, we speak with John Wickman, owner of Polly Guys Pizza, and Mayor Zach Burden about how the city of Kirksville has been affected. Reporter Eduardo Galbinski has the story.
Hello, my name is Eduardo Galbinski, and today we'll be talking about how Kirksville is holding up 1 year into the COVID-19 pandemic. I'll be talking to business owner John Wishman, as well as our city mayor, Zach Burden. They'll help us understand the challenges faced by the community, as well as their hopes for the near future. So stay tuned.
My name is John Wishman. I'm the owner of Polly Guys Pizza here in Kirksville, Missouri. I've owned it since February of 1981. It's been difficult. It definitely has been strange for us. We did get some help earlier. Overall, deliveries are doing okay. You know, they're holding their own, but as far as inside dining, we've taken a pretty big hit. There's no football season at Truman, so we've lost homecoming this year. We also lost Parents' Day, which are my two biggest days of the year. A lot of people go to the movies and then come over and maybe have a pizza or whatever. Well, they won't be doing that no more. The same way I've noticed the bars. They're just not as busy, and we don't get the bar business that we used to get. The biggest change I think we've had is, like I said, is a social distance inside here where we try to keep the people a little bit separated. And also we all mask up, all our employees mask up. But there has been an occasion where two of our employees have had to go under quarantine. Just not as much activity going around the square, just because people again are staying home, I think, you know, and trying to listen to a little bit to what we're supposed to be doing. So it's just like the high school basketball games here. Go to the games, there's maybe 25 people in the stands instead of 250 or 300 people to watch the games. So that all has an effect because we sell some of our product at games like that. So it just all kind of tumbles down. We just have to cut back as far as, I don't think as far as service, you know, you still want to give good service, but we're just not giving enough of it. You know, we don't have enough to give. I think the community is, you know, you can see more people masking up, and I think getting a little bit more serious about it. I think people are getting a little more positive feelings because the vaccine is coming out. In fact, I'm going to try and get my vaccine here in a couple days. So I think as a whole, everybody's trying to pull for each other. We all want to be successful or want to get through this, and it's going to take the whole group of us, all of us masking up, or all of us being social distancing for, you know, maybe for another 6 months before we can kind of get back to semi-normal.
Now, let's hear from Zach Burden.
My name is Zach Burden, Zacburden, and I'm the mayor of the city of Kirksville. You know, Kirksville's always been a place that's incredibly resilient. We've had hardship come to our community before, so in some ways we're prepared for this, and I think after a year we're holding up pretty well. But that's not to minimize the challenges that are happening in Kirksville. I recognize that in some really big ways. I think if anybody says that this hasn't impacted our community, they're not understanding the full gravity of what's going on. I think what I would say about how the hospital's holding up with that, without having them on camera to speak for themselves, is that they've worked really hard to manage an incredibly challenging situation. And challenging in a lot of ways. When you have limited resources like number of staff members available or number of ICU beds, that really creates some tension. But I think there's also the human toll that has to be considered. You know, we're hearing stories from around our community, around the state, around the nation about healthcare workers who are just really struggling to work with the emotional toll that comes with being on a COVID wing. And it's the same for our healthcare workers who are in our nursing home facilities around town. You know, there's just some real challenges, and there's been some real loss. I think we owe a great deal of thanks to our healthcare workers here in the Kirksville community, and I think we also need to be there to support them for what has been an acutely trying time. So vaccinations are not run by the city of Kirksville. The vaccination plan is administered locally by the Adair County Health Department. I'm very hopeful that a national expansion of vaccine production is going to impact things locally here, but I think we all have to realize it's going to take some time before it's widely available for anyone who would like to have it. And in the meantime, that means we have to maintain or even increase our vigilance with the safety precautions that we know are available now and are working. So my hopes immediately for Kirksville would be that we'd have vaccines widely available for anybody who wants to receive one. And then I would also hope that folks would go out and get the vaccinations. That's the way that we move past this situation. Beyond that, I hope we start to move back towards what makes Kirksville a fantastic place to live. If we have widespread vaccinations and if we have people who are following safety precautions, can we get back to things like Friday night concerts on the square? With that then, of course, means I'm hoping for a business resurgence in Kirksville. I'm proud of the many ways that our business owners have tried to think creatively and come up with new ways to both serve their clientele but also to stay in business. And I'm hopeful that in a new year and with some new levels of vaccination, that we can get back to supporting those local businesses in the way that we have historically done. Our business situation continues to grow here in Kirksville, and I think we're going to have some pent-up demand to want to participate in that.
This is Eduardo Galbinski, KTRM Studios.
We now present your Truman weather forecast with Jordan LaBarge. Stay tuned after the break for a look at the latest episode of Does Truman Know?
Say goodbye to double digits, because here at Truman this week we are all single. Tonight we have a high of 7 degrees and a low of -3 degrees. And moving into Friday, we have snow, like we need more of that, with a high of 3 degrees and a low of -2 degrees. Throughout the weekend we will be seeing more snow, with a high of 4 degrees and a low of -9 degrees on Saturday. And on Sunday, we will be all negative with -3 degrees for the high and -11 for the low. So bundle up, Truman. Moving into next week, on Monday, we will see cloudy skies with a high of 3 and a low of -3. But then we move back into double digits a little bit on Tuesday, where we have partly cloudy skies with a high of 13 degrees and a low of -3 degrees. Moving on to Wednesday, we have more partly cloudy skies with a high of 16 degrees and a low of -1. And then happier days on Thursday, where it's partly cloudy and we see a high of 18 degrees and a low of +1 degree. This has been your Truman weather forecast, so stay tuned after the break.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
In our latest episode of Does Truman Know?, reporter Enes Al-Hassani sees how much Truman students know about Black history.
I'm going to go with 1954. 1970.
1957.
57.
I actually don't know this, but I'm going to go with A. What? I guess A.
Edward
Yeah.
It is correct.
I just guessed. Shout out to me. I'm greatest.
My gut says Rosa Parks. I don't know.
My gut says MLK. So, rock, paper, scissors, 50-50?
Okay.
Whoever wins is right, I guess. That's
Sure.
not how this works.
No.
But rock, paper, scissors,
shoot.
So,
Okay,
we're
is
going
it?
Rosa Parks.
And it is Rosa Parks.
Oh! Hey!
Hey!
What number did Jackie Robinson wear? The first African American.
42, right?
Ooh, great, yep.
I watched the movie.
Ebony.
Yeah.
Ebony, yep.
Okay, I was like, not people.
Sounds like a trick question because it probably 98.
No.
No?
2013.
13? Oh.
I want to say 1989.
I want to say it's either the Lionsgate or the MGM. It's neither of those. So the Lincoln.
Kennedy? No. Oh, Taft? No. I don't know.
There's one left.
I forgot the other one says. Johnson. Okay. I knew it was either Kennedy or Johnson. I couldn't remember.
I feel like it's not Nixon. I don't know.
I feel like it's also not Johnson. I want to say Carter.
Okay, let's go for it then.
Jimmy Carter. Nope. You shook your head.
The other one.
It was Ford. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We did narrow it down though.
Yeah.
You got it.
This is Jesse from KTRM Studios reporting live from the Student Union building. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jesse. And thank you for tuning in with us tonight. For complete news coverage, be sure to stay tuned to KTRM, pick up a copy of The Index, and look at Detours Magazine's latest adventures online. Also, don't forget to check out our news content at tmn.truman.edu. You can also follow KTRM Studios on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you missed part of our broadcast tonight, check out KTRM Studios on YouTube. If you've ever thought about being on TV, be sure to head on over to tmn.truman.edu/apply to fill out an application today. From all of us here at KTRM, thank you for tuning in and have a great rest of the week.